He is a popular player for his consistency and versatility. Definitely has value, but you're paying a premium on him where he's currently going as a fifth round pick, roughly 71st overall. Now, Ralph has alluded to in past episodes to the power surge in 2016 with the long ball, and as such, Carpenter is still not a 30 home run guy. As my second baseman, I love him. As my third baseman or first baseman, not so much. I'd love to have his versatility and reliability, but more so as my corner infielder than either second, first, or third. Again, I don't think you're going to get the value that he's going to cost you when there's much more high upside guys I'd prefer to have. If he falls to me later on, like rounds 8, 9, 10, or later, it'll be hard to pass for sure, but that's an unlikely scenario to happen. So a guy like Carpenter, while a lot of people love the name and love the steadiness he's provided, I just don't feel like it's enough, and he's being overdrafted right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, possibly. See, I think that Carpenter is one of these guys where he's just like steady consistency. And there's a lot of reasons that he has such steady consistency. This guy makes tons of hard contact. In fact, last year among qualified hitters, he was third in hard contact behind Ortiz and Freddie Freeman. He was just ahead of Mike Trout. This guy has elite walk rates. He's an elite OBP player. The strikeout rate continues to drop each season. He continues to hit for more power. He's going to have multi-position eligibility. I own him in one league where he has first base, second base, third base, corner infield, and middle infield eligibility. It's in a Fantrax league, actually. So he's a guy that logged enough games at all the different positions that he's going to be eligible there. He's going to be their first baseman this year. So maybe he's a little bit less defensive sort of wear and tear on him potentially. We'll see. But the thing with Carpenter is I don't think he does anything exceptionally well besides get on base and sort of consistently give you numbers. He's going to give you some counting stats. I mean, he had 500 plate appearances last year. I think he was hurt, a little bit, missed maybe a month or so. But he still put up, solid numbers across the board. And if he plays, 150, 160 games for you, you get him as a fifth round pick. He's sort of a safe hitter. If you need one of those guys, maybe you took a chance on a pitcher like, Syndergaard or somebody a little bit earlier. I think he offers a really nice, attractive floor, some decent counting stats behind him. He's always going to hit high in the lineup, and he's got some consistent trends with his batted ball stuff that tells me he's going to continue to hit again and hit for power and provide offense for your team.
So here's my problem, and here's my question to you then. I'm not disputing anything you just said. Although 2 years ago, he had his career high with 28 homers. Last year, as you mentioned, he missed some games, finished with, I believe it was 21, and was kind of on that 28 pace. So like I said before, still not a 30 homer guy. We've kind of come to the realization and conclusion that first base, you need to have a bare minimum of 25 home runs to really be considered for that position at this point. Third base has become possibly the most explosive offensive position, especially at the top. And there's some depth to it. There's a lot of multiple positional players currently, or at least coming into this season. I'm thinking of guys like Jonathan Villar, Hernan Perez, even Eduardo Nunez might have some options depending on what league you're in. Point being is, this, like I said, is going to have to be the fifth guy that you put on your roster. I don't know that he provides enough to justify that position as just being kind of a steady guy putting up decent numbers. At second base, he's not one of the top three guys I would want to take, and that's where in those first five rounds, the top three second basemen are going. At first base, he's not one of the top few first basemen I want to take. So it's kind of the same thing. Did that change your opinion on Carpenter at all?
No, because I think he's the kind of guy that if he could fit into multiple different positions, he's valuable everywhere. Because I think he's within the top 10 of first baseman. He's probably, if he's second base eligible, it's in the top 10 of second baseman. And if he's third base eligible, he's probably in the top 10 of third baseman too. So I think he's a guy that, he's a floor pick if you went for some ceiling guys early on. I don't think he hurts you as a 5th-round pick. I don't. And I think I think he'll, and that's his floor. There's some people that probably reach for him from the 4th round or something like that. But I think he's a guy that could probably drop to you in the 6th or, even 7th sometimes, because people sort of look at the home run total and see 20, especially after last year, not putting everything into perspective, and he drops to you. I don't know. I don't dislike Carpenter, and he's a guy that, a lot of leagues that I'm in aren't redraft or dynasty, and he's a player I trade for because, I think that his trade value is decent. Usually you don't have to overpay for Carpenter.
All right. You might have swayed me a little, but I still
I got him for Giolito last season. I got him for Giolito when I saw the hype was going back, and then I traded back for Giolito for Adam Conley and some other like Josh Reddick or something. So I actually bought Giolito back for like significantly less than what the other guy paid for him.
So anyway. Right. So you basically traded Carpenter. You got Carpenter for Conley and Reddick. So you won.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I still think I'm passing. Like I said, if he falls to me a little later, a couple rounds later, maybe I'm in. Maybe Ralph swayed me a little.
Yeah.
You guys be the judge.